John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Hey, and welcome everybody to our Daily Gun Show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for about an hour. This is episode 815. It's a Friday, so on Fridays we usually look back at the week over on the main newsfeed at gunchannels.com. This is a panel discussion or a panel show, so we have people that join in from links over on Gun Channels, actually in emails as well. So we've got people joining from all over the country. Mentioning Gun Channels there, it's a community we built 6 years ago now for conversations like this one. So we've got Angelina joining us from California. Thanks for joining.
Hello, California.
And then we got Dead Horse jumping in from Utah. Thanks for jumping in.
Howdy, thanks for having me.
Gizzard's hopping in from Kansas. Thanks for hopping.
Thanks for the invite.
Noxious crawling in from, the hell are you, North Dakota? No, not North Carolina?
North Carolina. Thanks for having me, sir.
You bet. And we got Snob rolling in from Oklahoma. Rolling.
Just hanging out here under Gary. Thanks for having me.
You bet. And then I'm in Arizona. So like I say, we got links out to a bunch of people in the email tonight. See who wants to join in. I've been chatting with these guys off air. They don't seem very interested, but I've been watching some show called Silicon Valley, The Untold Story. I guess I should have seen when it was made. Does it tell me on this screen where it was? How old it is? It seems pretty recent. It says 2018. And anyway, it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It had some summaries, I guess, of some of the origins and some things. Wrapped up some of the origin stories of the pieces that got us to where we are today in a really neat way. So anyway, it's got me psyched, and it got me thinking about the Second Amendment that way. So if everybody's down, we can talk about the future of the Second Amendment as well as the past, like what happened this week over on Gun Channels. I see Ghost is out there. You got a link in the email. I can throw you a link on the Gun Channels as well. Feel free to join in. And anybody got anything before we head into the future of Second Amendment? Let's solve this.
Not me.
I'm ready for the future.
The future is now.
Right. So I'm trying to think of one of the couple of things that were pretty interesting about this show that got me thinking about how that could apply to 2A. So give me time to think about that for a minute here. I just got done watching the last of these 3 episodes, and I'm trying to remember the pieces I thought might apply. Somebody take us to where you think the future of Second Amendment's going, and when. What kind of time frame are we talking? Because I think it's different if you talk about the next year or two, and then the next 20 years, and the next 100 years, right?
Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb. I think the next 20 years is very bright, because I think the next generation is going to be tremendously more pro-gun than the current generations. My personal opinion.
And now, see, you'd have more experience with the next generation, because I don't, and anybody with children would have more experience with the next generation of shooters than I would. But even if you just look at history, think about what your parents liked and then what you like. And that's generally how it goes, is the children will be polar opposites of what their parents liked a lot of times. So if you got a bunch of anti-gun parents raising children, the kids are going to rebel, and they're going to like guns, and they're going to start searching them out. And
I don't think so. Have we seen that? Did our grandparents cherish guns, but our parents hated them, or did our parents like guns and we also like guns? When we're talking about stuff that's like core, I mean, we're talking about trends in the color of cars or something. Sure, like that kind of stuff. Taste can change, and people do something else on a whim. But I mean, is there very many things like that are core like that, like gun ownership, that we are cyclical on? I mean, have we lost rights and then brought them back and lost them and brought them back?
Hmm.
I mean, we've pretty much always had them. We'd hand that either we cherished it and we handed that down, or a hell of a lot of people just got here. I don't know, a lot of, I don't know, when we think about the future, for some people, past here is like a generation. Some people past here is multiple generations, right? So we're coming from a bunch of people that have different concepts of what the past here means to them and where they're picking up the rope and pulling, and everybody's got just as much right to the rope, right? So, we got a bunch of people coming to this country from other countries. They have Second Amendment now. Do you think they're coming from countries that suck butt? Don't you think they're going to want their Second Amendment?
That's very true. What about, I would be interested in knowing how gun ownership per capita has increased over the years or decreased. Do more people own guns now than 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago?
Well, I'm willing to bet that the amount of people that own guns probably hasn't changed that much, but the amount of guns the people own, because back in like my grandparents' generation, guns were a tool, and they had just specifically the guns they needed for the job they had to do with it, and that was it. For as a whole, I realize there was people that like me then too, but now people are want the latest greatest every gun they can afford, and some they can't.
I'll have you know I can afford every gun that I have.
Your wife can.
Well, yes. And by extension, me. So there.
So for the most part, generations tend to get more wealthy. Not always, but I think on the what's the word? Would it be the median or whatever, like the average, I guess? Like, don't generations tend to acquire wealth, property, and inheritances and stuff? So family guns. If grandpa had a gun and left it to the kids, even if they only acquired one gun and left it to the grandkids, those grandkids now might have 3 guns, even if they're not super interested gun people.
Well, another thing I'm going to go back to is the video games, because I see that almost all the time with my son's friends and my nephews and nieces and stuff. They all want to come out and shoot guns at my house because they play stupid Fortnite all the time, and they're talking about the guns in Fortnite, and it got them interested in it. And I can tell you, I bet 20 plus kids have asked to come out and shoot guns with us because they play with them on Fortnite. So I'm going that Fortnite is one of the best things right now going for the Second Amendment, truthfully, whether people agree with me or not, because it's getting tons of kids interested in shooting the real guns like it that they would have otherwise not cared about, probably.
I don't disagree. Is the future more simulated violence, though? Could there be like a duck hunt? Minus the, well, I guess the little ducks are real ducks, but yeah, they could have a simulated, whatever, skeet shooting or 5 clay or something. They have simulated dancing games and simulated guitar games. Kids don't always have to play the violent stuff. Is that the only way we're going to have guns in video games going forward?
And one thing kind of about Fortnite, which yes, you're killing other people in it, but it's not like a Call of Duty or one of those games where it's very graphic or anything. It doesn't show anything like that. But on that, whenever we still have the Wii, but we haven't played with it in forever. We had one that had a double barrel shotgun and went with it. It was Cabela's Big Game Hunter. And you went to all these different hunts. That was really a fun game. I need to dig that out and play that again one day. But you could go on all these hunts for different animals and creatures and stuff, and that was pretty fun.
That game was amazing.
But it didn't reach the people like Fortnite does. I mean, every kid plays Fortnite right now.
So every kid was into Star Wars, right? It was zappers or blasters, whatever, in Star Wars. Every kid was into, I don't know, whatever. Pick a time, and every kid's into it. Except they don't always have guns in them. So Um, I was going to say though that is there much a difference? I guess the amount of time involved, but is there much difference between the video games being the introduction to guns and the movies being the introduction to guns for other generations, either westerns or World War II movies or action movies or some kind of Bourne James Bond type of gun movie?
I mean, I blame westerns on my love of lever guns. So I grew up watching westerns all the time because that's like all my dad ever watched. So
I mean, like we literally are called cowboys in some countries because we're stereotyped as being obsessed with the violence of the gun of the old west, and then the mobsters or whatever, the 20s 30s gangsters that were created by prohibition.
DT made a good point in the Gun Channel's chat. He said video games are interactive, unlike movies and TV.
I guess. Do you think video games are going to stick around forever? I mean, they're certainly like the new thing for a long time here. They're bigger than Hollywood. They're going to be around forever.
A form, yeah.
And Weston made a good point. He said video games like Fortnite, the guns are the focal point of the game. Movies tend to be more about the storylines, and that's true. In Fortnite, you're out to find the better gun. You want the legendary Scar or whatever to be your better gun.
Oh, I see. Well, I see the potential of everybody getting together and using the resources that are involved. Because think about just the chat end of it. If they weren't wasting a bunch of processor power on making the graphics make a shared, three-dimensional world environment for everybody to kill each other in, if kids got the idea that they could use that similar amount of time with their lives and the similar tech to get together and accomplish stuff, and then they started knocking out, I don't know, whatever a bunch of people could do like that with, there's probably ways that, that could, give them a direction to go in that's positive, that, they still get together and get all the satisfaction of all the things the games are providing them now, the social whatever, and the ability to find, the same way that we hang out with people we know and like same kind of stuff we like, because we can make a decision. We can go out the whole internet, find a bunch of people that don't really like the same stuff as we do and chat with the people that are shared interests. That's what these kids are doing, just their shared interests in this video game. Is it possible that the video game will get, that aspect will be that catalyst will be removed and they'll use all this tech for something cooler? And then we'll have a generation of kids that, like, I don't know, maybe they figure out, hey, if we all get together and create a room that teaches other countries English, and we can all sit in here and just chat about what it's like, feel like you were sitting at a bus station waiting for a bus, chatting to somebody, just no politics, just casual conversation, so that everybody could learn everybody else's languages or something. And kids figured out they could all jump into a room like that and eliminate language barriers. I mean, that could be the new big thing. Pokemon, look how big Pokemon running around was. If that would have been slightly changed to running around doing service projects and gaining points based on how much effect your service project had, I mean, that could be something that kids catch on to and decide, hey, it's not worth wasting our time in, fake worlds killing each other fakely. Anyway, I guess we're talking about the future of 2A. Is there anything that the games can do that'll bring 2A together or get more focus on 2A? I think like Gunners America will put like a big donate button in there or something.
Did the NRA finally go away from blaming video games now for the stuff? Because for a while that was their big thing, was blame the video games
And music.
and music. Yeah. So
Does the NRA support video games now? I mean, I know that, like, I'm not too sure about anything with Fortnite, but I know, like, Call of Duty and that Tom Clancy thing, there's, like, real guns in there. Like, like a Scar or whatever. So do they get any kind of, like, kickback or I mean, it's promoting guns, right? Like in a fun way, I guess.
I mean, pretty much all the guns in Fortnite are real guns, based on real guns.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd have to. Are you talking about maybe they have to pay some kind of licensing to use the real guns? I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm sure they do, but I don't know. I'm just wondering if the NRA is like, oh, video games aren't so bad now because it's kind of an outreach to the youth, like Sal was saying.
I don't think
I'm
so.
pretty sure-
Lieutenant Colonel Grossman is the guy who came up with, I think it's been the most public with the concept that the video games are detrimental to society based, like as far as like, what's the word? Desensitizing a whole generation to violence. And I don't know, but I definitely think it desensitizes them. If they have these games and the guns are fairly realistic, I'm assuming, so that they can tell the difference between them, and it's not just like a Lego gun or something, or was that game with all the blocks? It's just not like a clunky gun, but like something that's highly, whatever, accurate. Are the gunshots and everything? I mean, I'm guessing you just said it was dumbed down, so if it's sort of like you shoot somebody and it's clean and they're just dead or they regenerate, I mean, I think that's part of it, right? Like the whole like taking the concept of throwing projectiles into flesh as just respawn.
Is there any ever mention at all of like any kind of gun safety or gun handling in the video games? Like, oh, you don't want to point these guns at your teammates or something like that, right? Stuff like that, just like basic stuff that we use in the real world, right? But do they incorporate any of that stuff into the video games, or is it just like, oh, throw grenades and shoot wherever and don't worry about what's behind your target? And
Oh no, there's never any gun safety in video games. It's, as a matter of fact, usually in most of them, I don't know about Weston saying that some modes allow friendly fire, but I've never played Fortnite. I never played what was somebody mentioned the one before that, Call of Duty. Never played that, but anything I've played, there was no friendly fire. You couldn't, unless.
What happens if you friendly fire a teammate? Do you get kicked off the game for like a couple days to be like teach you a lesson, like to show you there's consequences, or do you just like 30 seconds later spawn back in and start killing people again?
In Call of Duty, if you keep shooting your teammate in a game mode that allows you to like actually kill them, because most of them, if you shoot at your teammates, doesn't do anything. But if you actually kill them, I think after you kill like 2 or 3 times, it'll boot you from the game. But you just log in and go to a different game.
And that's probably more just to combat the trolls than it is to promote any kind of safety.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's just to keep the people from doing that, because that's their idea of fun.
All right, well, I'm putting the brakes on it because I just don't give a shit about video games, so I let it go for a bit, but we're just seeming to be going way more into video games than I ever intended to, since my intention is to go 0% into video games ever. So I do remember one of the things that I saw on this show. So does anybody know who's responsible for Silicon Valley and basically computers and the internet that we're using today?
Night Strike?
Apple?
Al Gore?
So what the hell was this guy's name? Oh, the Stanford University people. The Stanford guy, I guess, was involved. Remember the thing that was somebody made a bet with somebody about if a horse leaves all 4 hooks off the ground or not? And then somebody said, hey, I know what we can do. We can take a bunch of cameras and put little strings out on a field or whatever, and then every time when the horse goes by, every time the string breaks, like the camera will go off, and then we'll have all these different pictures of the various stages of the horse galloping by this segment. Everybody know what I'm talking about, where they created motion pictures and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that whole thing, that bet or whatever, was the guy was Stanford, the guy from that bet his, I forget how they said, maybe before he could even do nothing about it, like his son got really sick and died, I think. And then they decided to turn their farm into a school. And then that created Stanford, a university out there. And is that by San Francisco? Silicon Valley's up in San Francisco, right?
Yeah, it's Northern California.
And then, then that became a place for people that were nerds. And then they started all these different companies. It's really neat. So I didn't ever realize that that motion picture, that horse galloping, was the beginning of computers and everything. Literally everything we got since then, that's developed there, at least, came from all that. Otherwise, Stanford would have never been there, and then they would have never gathered there, and it would have never, I guess, accumulated as much as they got there. Yeah, so I have no idea if that affects 2A at all, but other than you never know the consequences of something, that, when something pivots or turns, I guess I can, maybe it's not the same concept, but I can go back to something we were talking about earlier, and whether or not a generational thing, or whether or not gun ownership or Second Amendment appreciation is a generational thing, if it's handed down by generation or if it's cyclical and alternates like fashion or something, or trends. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other trends that happen on a generational cycle. But think about however many of our grandparents had pocket guns. Since most of the states had their CCW laws created, basically CCW prohibitions created in '68, most of our parents' generation and our generation lived without CCW being a legal option. And it almost just all but disappeared until fairly recently, when most everybody's getting it back again. They're removing those laws from '68. So how many of our parents' generation as gun owners, were encouraging us to carry guns? I would suggest very few, right? So the guns that we own are insanely different than the guns of prior generations. Did our grandparents ever sit around and buy like 7 ARs, or the equivalent 7 somethings, and screw with each one of them? They'd buy like a one, right? And then they'd buy a shotgun. Sometimes if you had like brothers, they'd buy like 2 shotguns. But how often your parents buy like 6 of something and then make the stocks 3 different ways and then take them to the shop and show them to people?
Well, my grandpa thinks I'm crazy part of the time because I have, so many different guns, and he's got his old 16 gauge single barrel, his Marlin Model 60. That's not even a Marlin, it's a Montgomery Ward or something, and a little old revolver. And that's all he's ever needed in 92 years.
There were no guns in my house when I grew up, and I think my grandfather probably had a couple, but I wasn't. When he passed away and my grandmother passed away, I wasn't into guns, so I think those went to one of my cousins. But my mom never had one, and I found out, when my mom passed away, they had a revolver that my stepdad had for his job in security. I think that's the only gun that was ever in my mom's house.
Well, even growing up, my dad had, Lord, I remember one time when I was a little kid, he had like 60 some guns, and he had like one pistol, one 357 revolver that stayed in a feed truck to shoot coyotes out the window, and it was all rifles and shotguns. And there was just, of course, that was before concealed carry was even a thing really in Oklahoma. So handguns just weren't that necessary for anything. And we had a few 22s, but as far as real handguns, I only remember that 357.
There's definitely nobody that I know that's taken the guns away. I've taken the guns, so I can't really speak to what the norm is out there.
Well, something different in the generation, talking about that, just like that. Whenever I was a kid, my dad never let me, even shoot the 357 until I was probably 13 or 14. I could shoot the 22 pistols, but I could shoot any rifle we had or shotgun we had, it was fine. And my kids have shot, all my handguns since they were little bitty, as long as they were big enough to hold it. So maybe that's just because I'm a bad parent, but.
Why weren't you allowed to shoot the 357? You didn't think you could handle it?
I don't know. It was just one of them deals. It was just didn't need to. There was no reason for me to shoot it because it was just there for in the feed truck to shoot coyotes out the window. That was literally it.
I mean, I came from a no gun house, and half my family is from Europe, so they don't gun, obviously. And the other half, they don't really gun either. So it's kind of, I don't know, but no one's really against them. All right, so we got a gun shop of the day, maybe? Seems like this topic's kind of gone.
All right, so we're going to go into the last week in guns over here, over on the main page, gun channels. So this is pretty much last week. Dano did an off-air, it looks like, after the show. Russell did one as well. Patriot was posting some stuff because it was May the 4th, because of Star Wars, I guess. And then Rick had his show last week. We did the workshop. I remember what we did on the workshop. I think we had a pretty good workshop last week. Oh, you know what we did? We were off air, so that's what happened, right? That's the one where we had a pretty good chat off air. Oh no, that was Tuesday, so I don't know what happened on that chat. I'd have to go back and listen to it. Guns and Gadgets posted something about pushing constitutional carry in what state? Or is that federal? I guess that's two different things, and they're talking about the case with that suppressor in Kansas. All right. So then we got Dano chatting over here. Got Clover posting the intros he did with everybody at the NRA meeting. Pink is posting about Kent State. Did anybody else see anybody posting about Kent State last Saturday?
I did not. I saw some stuff on Facebook, though, but nothing on gun channels.
All right. So then last week was also the passing of Pat Rogers. Pretty cool dude.
It was Pat Rogers.
Firearms instructor. Basically was a Marine. He was in the Marines during NAM, and then he was a NYPD. But I forget. He had a pretty what would be the word? I don't know. Like he did stuff as a cop. He didn't just sit around as a cop. So he had if they keep track of like incidents or whatever, he had like a pretty high whatever, like the experience level as a police officer, and then did some interesting training after all that experience at pretty high levels, and then after all that started teaching to the civilians, I guess you'd call it, or just the non-military law enforcement. That was like back in '89. So he was one of those trainers who was influential in the development of, I guess you'd call it, civilian firearms training. So anyway, he was a cool dude and just a heck of a cool guy to hang out with if you took a class or whatever. He was a very personable person. So just wanted to commemorate that anniversary. was also Liberty Doll's first live chat. It was also her birthday. Anybody seen this TED Talks before from this European? Angelina's from there, so maybe she's seen it.
Yeah, I have. That's a pretty decent one.
I've not seen it. You know, I don't watch anything.
I tried watching it, but it's so distracting with that bird grip, that like crazy bipod bird grip, and I'm thinking that means that whole country bought those things. So there's a whole country of people walking around with that weird bird grip bipod thing.
I thought that guy was Putin at first.
What is he? Whedon or something?
Yeah, it's like Putin's weird brother.
So it's somewhere where they have females in military because it's a female giving it to them. They don't have a flag on it, I don't think. She wouldn't. A lot of times they don't have flags on Class 8 or whatever, though. So I can't tell what that is. These look weird, but a lot of times they'll also wear other countries' jump wings if they've taken.
Netherlands Chief of Defense.
Oh, is that what it says?
Right, like, well, right under it. Yeah. That's what comes from YouTube, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sweet grip they got.
And what's it about? Dead Horse, you've seen it?
It's just about why he thinks the gun's a good thing to have and how it brings peace. Pretty much, that's to sum it up quickly. The gun brings peace.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? I don't like guns that much, but he's from like a military family, and he understands that if there's bad people and they're just kind of like, hey, what the hell? Well, there's good guys with guns, so maybe I won't be a bad person. I think that's pretty much the gist of it, right?
Yep.
Are the Netherlands one of those countries that you will see on the internet where they like issue guns or make every house have a gun or something like that?
I don't think so. I think they just live up there on the north of the globe with no enemies except for Russia. And now that Russia's not an enemy anymore, they just sit around buying guns, I guess.
And bipod grip combos.
I have no idea what's going on in the Netherlands.
Oh, it says, someone named the Gun Snob? What's the story with this ammo, dude?
It's not just the ammo, it's a whole like thing, package deal.
This is like 2A tech right here. So what's the deal? So you shoot this stuff and what?
Well, he has a kit that he puts on the gun to keep it from cycling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually dead quiet, and it was originally designed apparently to kill dogs in war.
Oh.
Without getting noticed. That's the reason it was called Hush Puppy. I guess it was
a semi-automatic pistol into a single-shot pistol.
Yeah.
To make it quieter.
Well, it's like having a bolt gun. Like it won't cycle, so the round doesn't go out, and you don't hear any noise of the action. So it's putting us something to engage the lock, basically grinding another slot in there or something, so that the slide lock can go up when the thing's closed.
Yeah, it has a separate lock on it. This is a guy I met in Tulsa at somebody else's booth, and he wanted me to come see him at a NRA, so I found him and went and seen him. And he gave me a pretty cool patch with a little frog on a suppress gun.
I'm not going to tell him how to do his business. Well, I am going to tell him how to do his business, but I would think instead of putting more baffles, just put a fucking sleeve around the outside of this thing, and it'd be a lot quieter.
Yeah.
What's the idea of putting a suppressor in front of a suppressor? It's not really that quiet, so it needs.
That is a separate deal of wipes, because now you can't change your own wipes; they're not serviceable without sending it back in. So you screw that on there when your wipe goes. I don't remember. You'd have to listen to him tell. I don't remember what the story was.
Well, number one, I also think he should have named it like the Century something or another, because only dicks shoot dogs. He could have just easily said it's for dispatching sentries, right?
Or cats. Yeah, you could have said cats.
Well, there's no fucking guard cats, so I can understand why you need it, but you need it for sentries just as much as puppies. You just rub a puppy's belly, and then it's your friend. And then
Well, apparently that was the original name of it back in whatever war
that's
it
why
was.
SEALs do it wrong. They'd like say, just befriend the dogs, and then they're your allies, and then they help you fight. All right, so then Dano had off-air chat. Probably was creepy, and Gary did his early bird chat. That must have been early Cinco de Mayo. Was that a good chat?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I think I got there towards the end of it.
All of these chats are good.
I think I slept through the first half of that one on Sunday.
Who did?
Me.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I don't know. I go out to breakfast and come back, and then Gary's still going. So, sleeping in.
Gary life.
Well, let's see. Well, that's about generating an infomercial for Super Beats. I guess somebody had a commercial for Super Beats in front of their video.
Yeah,
Right.
Different
Super
information.
Beats commercials.
Oh, she's on commercials?
Yeah, she does commercials for Super Beats.
Oh, well, she's a
What
influencer.
is Super Beats?
She's an influencer, so she whatever she deems worthy makes people buy them. Right. We did the Liberty Watch show on Sunday and seemed to get some good response from that. People seem to like it, but I don't know. I can see if they can do it again this week. Let's see. Then you had some kind of open lobby. What was that all about?
Yep. Just a Sunday casual open lobby. Stop by, chat, gun channels. We'll have the link. Maybe I'll do it again.
Right on. Had somebody new from Matt's channel. Decided to check it out. It's cool to see.
Nice.
And these targets from my MMA show. Come and Talk It, syndicated radio show out of Texas. Yoder's always posting that on Sundays.
Ooh, click on that revolver picture.
Chris always showing off.
Let's
Normally on
see.
Instagram, looks like it came over here though.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Like those grips, the black ones.
Okay, so top one or bottom one? Which one are we going with?
I'm going with top because I like those grips.
Let's see. The top's the 44, right?
Yeah.
Well, and
So I'm gonna have to go with the top too.
are they both 44?
I think the bottom one's
Um,
357. I think. And the top's.
yeah. I think.
Am I saying anything on here?
Oh, he said in the on good channels. I think.
Super chat. I had super chat before. That's crazy.
Oh, super chat. That's cool.
Oh, those are super nice guns, though. I'm always jealous every time he posts a gun. I'm just, yeah. It's like, oh, I want that. I want that. Like, he never posts guns that I don't want.
Who? Oh, it's Chris?
Like, every gun he posts is such a nice gun, and it's always like, oh, I want that so bad. Then you go look up the price, and it's, oh.
Oh, I guess he told us right there. The 357 and then the 44. 44 special, though. So it's not a Magnum. Oh, then Budget did his show on Sunday. Instead of he's done the same thing this week, it sounds like. Then when he had Guns and Gadgets posted this thing about the Colorado red flags. Made some John Wayne LaPierre pictures.
Those are pretty funny.
That's awesome.
You know, because he's defending our rights just like John Wayne would have done.
He also looks like Dano.
He does look like Dano.
Yeah.
Then Rich White had his show. He was out there before. I'm just going to throw him a link. I didn't see him on here. Smith & Wesson Model 39.
Hush puppy.
Then Gun Gals did their show on Sunday. Posted it here on Gun Channels. Then Angelina had her, I think your chat was still going.
Oh, that's when they took it over talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they got really gross into Game of Thrones. Then Travis shooting his fancy G40. You getting a G40, Dead Horse?
Nope.
Obnoxious?
No.
Snob?
I can't handle something with a barrel that long.
Angelina?
No.
Gizzard?
I think I'll pass on that one.
You're all wrong. Let's see. Midnight, I'll be going on. So I guess Midnight did his show on Sunday. And you got early watch. How did that go? Starting the early watch now?
Yeah, good. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So every day but Tuesday right now, because Tuesday's like my main shooting morning right now. So, yeah, 4 days a week, starting back up early watch, and yeah, going good. Trying to get into the rhythm. I think it's going to take a little while to get into a rhythm.
I jumped in on one of them. It was really good. I thought. I mean, that's probably because I was there, but
Yeah. Well, it definitely helps when you got good people that jump in, right? It definitely helps.
I really enjoyed it though.
Oh, Pants is living that G40 life.
Let's see. Then what's this all about? Something about
Looking up RL's nose.
Yeah, the Pennsylvania rally. I heard there was some sort of Rice Krispie treats or something laced with freedom. Midnight was passing out.
Oh, it's coconut butterscotch bars.
Yeah. So then we got Uncle Zoe posting some pictures of an IDPA match in Texas.
He needs to change his settings so people who aren't his friends can see those posts. So then we can watch those videos, because I can't see those posts on the front page.
I've never seen them on there either.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He has it set to like only friends can see it, and unless I can see him and friend him, then I'll never. You know what I mean?
Okay. We'll have to make some more how to use stuff type of videos. These things were pretty neat. This isn't a very long video. I'm just going to let the guy do his thing. You're not going to copyright us?
Probably not. These are super nice kids here.
I thought this was pretty clever, too.
Bipod shooting sticks, one stick that does it all. The same stick, fold into all major shooting positions, take it all the way down to your prone right off the bench. One leg up is going to be butt in the mud. Fully extended does your lead shots, all of your chaired shots, frees your hands for your walking and stalking. Straight over the shoulder for your standing shots. Going straight down to your knee, out of the pouch to the bipod. No ground in front of you, mid-length, back to the pouch. Out of your chair, climber, tree stand, full range, downhill, come up. Correct themselves to your bipod if you're sitting. There is no hardware. You're sliding on and off. They fully support the weight of the rifle. Weighing less than 7 ounces. They fold up to your 14 inches. Comes with your carrying case. Taking your carrying case under the belt so you don't have to drop your belt off your hip. Same carrying case as your anchor. Taking your carrying case, top, inside out, back to itself to make your anchor.
All right, where can they find you?
We're online and out of South Carolina. Everything's made in America.
All right.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, those guys started following me on Instagram a long time ago, and we got to talk. They, sent me a message when they'd seen I was going to NRAM and stuff, and I went by and seen them, and they were pretty cool.
I like people who kind of really get into their presentations like that and who are enthusiastic, because it makes you feel like they believe in their product, right? And I like that feeling that someone who really believes in the product they're selling.
It's him and another guy that's like his best friend, and they literally took turns that whole weekend holding that gun. I said, couldn't you all have found a lighter gun to hold? He said, well, we wanted to show that it was good. And they did that same thing over and over and over.
And a minute and a half. That's cool. Like, they get it all explained. It's not rushed. And yeah, you see how clever it is.
Of course, he should have figured out a better way to say, we're online, instead of, he could have mentioned, bipodshooting6.com or something instead of just we're online.
Well, this is the freaking 2019. If people can't figure it out, How much are those things?
I think they were $39 or $35. They're not too much. I got a set. I actually bought a set, which he sold them to me for $20. I was going to pay full price for them just because I liked them and thought they were pretty cool. And he's like, we'll sell them to you for our cost, which is $20.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And if you go buy some, make sure you tell them that, you know, you watched the Gun Snob video. That's where you found them at.
Then we got, we did an interview with Mike on Monday. It's pretty good. And Clover posted a video with his shooting some ammo out of that. I guess that's the rifle. I don't know what's going on with Travis and Night Strike. They're just like changing clothes and taking each other's shows over, I guess, nowadays. So Night Strike's dealing with Caliber Corner. Travis is doing hit or miss. Just whatever.
Corner got infringed.
You know, we already got this trend established with Obnoxious and Sarge doing their weird Thursday dance, Saturday dance.
We're gonna copyright strike Night Strike and Caliber Corner for doing that stuff.
It's basically a process. You've already got that system down. All right, so then this thing was somebody new. John Webb posted this thing about the Zion range in St. George. So St. George is that little town down there by right when you pop out of Utah into Nevada if you're going to Las Vegas, right? So is that where St. George is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a hop, skip, and a jump. It's right next to Mesquite.
So is this Zion shooting experience, is that where they held that AK Red October thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. Because I was going to say, this looks like a pretty nice range. I clicked on that and looked at it. So looks like they joined. I'm not sure. They joined and then posted that, so maybe they're affiliated with that range or something. That's kind of cool. Let's see. Anybody think this is really a thing? That guy's from New Jersey, right? Booker from New Jersey and his crazy. I didn't really listen to the whole rant, but I've heard people's reactions over and over.
He's not quite as crazy as Eric Swalwell, but he's up there.
I don't even know that guy's name. Who's that?
He's out of California. He's
a Nukem guy.
He was the one who was going to nuke gun owners.
Oh, Nukem. Fond memories of that guy.
Yeah. So Booker isn't quite as crazy as Swalwell, but he's up there.
All right, so the future of 2A. We had Pelosi, and we had Feinstein, and we had Bloomberg, and we had... Who's the other dude? Anti-gun. Who was another guy, I thought. But anyhow, so you've got these, mostly Feinstein and Pelosi, that, assault weapons ban, and then, whatever, like, in inventory or whatever in the, the boilerplate written. They just have to fill in the details for each time there's something to exploit. Now you've got new players, right, that they're going to need to replace these people because they're old and gone, and they're either their message is gone or they're just, they're not going to be there that much longer. I never heard of this guy before, Cory Booker. Is he in the running to replace one of these, or who do you think is there somebody else that's going to replace these players?
He's running for president.
This guy is?
Yeah, Cory Booker is.
Yeah,
and so is Swalwell.
Yeah, but that's really just to get his name.
There's usually 20 by now, right, at this level. I mean, how much potential they even have?
Yeah, they're not going to be players in it, but they're running for president, so they're trying to get they're trying to get everybody on the left apparently is trying to out-left each other. So,
which I think is a good thing for the future of the 2A and stuff, is now they're going plumb. A lot of these big left-wing politicians are going way off, from their base, because, even though their base may agree with, maybe another assault weapons ban or something, I don't think they're quite as far left as, quite as far anti-gun as some of these politicians are right now.
Well,
maybe I'm totally wrong, but I don't know.
He's a senator, and Swallowwell is what is he? Isn't he just what is he? Is he just a congressman?
I think so. I think he's a congressman.
So Booker kind of has more power, right? He's more, as a senator, he's more influential, I guess.
Yeah, but he's out of New Jersey and Swallow's out of California, so.
So I heard a thing about the Booker guy that like his running for president isn't even a realistic attempt. It's just to get his name out there, so for other political offices to get into.
Yeah, that's what the majority of the 20 that are running on the Democratic side are doing. They've got no realistic chance.
Yeah, it's just advertising, right, for them.
Yeah. I think he was a mayor someplace in New Jersey too. So, he went from that to senator. And now he's running for president.
I don't know anything about him really. I've heard his name a few times, but
See, he's a senator for New Jersey. Is that who he's a senator for?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know because Tony keeps saying that, like having to go like, oh, that guy's from here. But like aside from this recent thing, I can't think of ever hearing his name before.
Oh, he in the Kavanaugh confirmation hearings. He stood up and he was the guy that was going to have his Spartacus moment. And
during that stuff, that's with the gun rights policy conference. I was driving up to there and driving back, so I didn't really, except for the actual hearings, I didn't pay much attention to that.
Yeah, he was going to release emails against Senate rules, but it was emails that everybody had already said it was okay to release. And he stood up and look how brave I am. I'm going to release these emails.
that's probably where I heard his name, because I remember hearing his name before some time back. I was thinking it was some kind of scandal, something other like that.
Oh yeah, he was the one that was gonna blow the whole thing open, right?
Yeah. He literally said, "This is my Spartacus moment."
We gotta have to learn about this guy. What we do know is that Dan was a big fan of him because he posted about him.
Well, usually if you say this is my Spartacus moment, it's not really a Spartacus moment.
I don't even know what that means. What is that? Is that where you kick somebody in the hole?
When you're like, "Wow, this is Sparta," like you're winning, you're on top, you're like blowing the whole thing, like badass.
So Diane posts this thing about Levi's. That's from a while back. Did they do something new?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They're just still anti-gun.
Yeah, but this guy was certainly a big jerk about making a big point about how anti-gun he is. So probably worth mentioning every once in a while in case anybody's buying jeans. Angelina, you buy jeans? Levi's products?
Yep, not Levi's though.
Dead Horse jeans?
Yeah, but Wranglers.
Gizzard? Denim?
Wranglers.
Obnoxious?
I'm a big fan of Porky Piggin.
Snob?
I used to wear nothing but Levi's, but since that came out, I've been a big fan of the Academy brand Magellan jeans, and they're like half the price.
I don't know when, but at some point, probably when I started carrying, whenever I started CCW, I think I quit wearing denim jeans at all. They just don't give me enough room to carry my flashlights and crap in pockets I can get to, so I went to various other kind of pocket pants with more pockets and shit. So yeah, the Levi's thing, I don't remember last time I bought a pair of denim pants. Then we had the workshop on Tuesday, and that's the one I think nobody showed up for. So we had a pretty effective conversation off air with a couple of people. So that one was actually pretty good, and that's sort of the reason I have the time set up. So if anybody's interested in doing whatever effort, unless there's a topic, which there almost never is, feel free to bring a question or a concern or some kind of skill set you're trying to figure out. And that's what it's all about, having a place. I think I'm going to move it to Wednesdays and Saturdays to see if that helps with anybody who can't get there on Tuesday. But anyway, thanks to our Patreons for giving us time to do that. Let's see. Then we had Ghost doing his thing with Devil Dog Arms. Anybody watch that one?
No, I did not.
I did not. My kids had their 8th grade promotion that night, and I haven't went back and watched anything. I've been busy.
What does that mean? Graduation?
Yeah, out of the 8th grade.
I don't remember. Was that a thing? I guess that might have been a thing.
We didn't have it when I was in school, but they make a big deal out of it now. So,
this was a place that makes 1911s and AR stuff, right?
yeah, I saw their stuff at Naral. It was pretty nice ARs.
And we got Hit or Miss. I don't know if Night Strike was running that or Travis. There's no way to know. Then we had it's like that Minuteman University. When was that? Tuesday? I believe it was live, I guess. Oh, Tuesday I went over to Charles's place and did that interview, so I didn't do a Daily Gun show. I guess that's what it was. And nobody was live over here. So then what? You just made an off-air chat? Let people hang.
Yeah.
Anybody watch Travis's shitty $11 ripoff, like Hong Kong ripoff watch video?
Yeah, I pretty much watch all of Travis's videos.
Has anybody bought anything off of AliExpress?
No.
Yeah, I have.
Not really eBay. It's sort of, I guess it's kind of like eBay, but it's from like Hong Kong or something, right? Pakistan, like
China.
wherever you buy really cheap stuff. Well, any place you can buy like really cheap stuff, and they have no copyright laws or whatever. Thing is, this one looked right, but then whenever he turned it on, I couldn't tell it was on. Could you? I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I kind of went like play and then click, click, click because I was curious to see what it looked like. And then, watch him open it, and play with it or whatever. I just got right to the part where I wanted to see it on, and I guess it's got dials, but I couldn't see any of the displays at all in the video. Could you?
Not really. But and I think a lot of those at least some of them were just kind of faux.
Just there to look.
Yeah.
So I would say I can't imagine paying $11 and having something junky on that might fail when what does a real watch cost? $40?
Oh yeah, the G-Shock Casios are super nice quality watches for
At
about
least
30.
they go down to $40, right? I mean, you can get more expensive ones, I'm sure, but you can get a decent watch for like $40, I'm sure. Early watch? You guys keeping it really exciting tonight. Really making it easy to stay awake.
That was a good early watch there.
That's when you were in,
Yeah, that's the reason it was a good one.
looking at your optic tubes. Let's see, Rick had his show on Wednesday, and Patriot said something here, a quote, I consider the foundation of the Constitution is laid on this ground that all powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved for the states or to the people. To take a single step beyond the boundaries thus specifically drawn around the powers of Congress is to take possession of a boundless field of power not longer susceptible of any definition. That's a wordy ass way of saying
Absolute power. Absolutely.
like, well, no, he's trying to say he considers the foundation of all that stuff to take, I don't know, no longer susceptible of any definition. That doesn't sound like now he's just going to be upset. I don't know. Too tired, I guess, to understand that one.
Confused me.
Oh, then you had Rick shooting disabilities. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Did anybody watch this? I think we talked about it on this show or on some show that we were on. That right by the Playboy Mansion, somebody had a house that had a bunch of guns seized, and the ATF were dragging them out into the driveway and destroying them, basically. Counting them all and writing their numbers, making a big scene out of it, doing it on the driveway.
Yeah, I seen a little news clip from it where the news reporter was saying, "And look at those full autos and all this." and it was like, you know, a drone or helicopter view of it, not even close enough to tell anything about them.
Yeah, but it was certainly a show. Certainly a show. And why would anyone need an arsenal? What that's all about. But anyway, I thought it was pretty horrible because you could see the back of that pickup truck in the driveway was with all the boxes. So a lot of those things were in boxes. They were pulling them out of the boxes, throwing the box, the empty box or whatever, probably with all the stuff, I'm sure, well, obviously with all the extra stuff that's in the box, just in the back of that truck. And then taking the guns, writing whatever numbers they got to write down, and throwing them in a big pile on the driveway on those big tarps. And
So what was the reason for seizing them? I didn't hear that.
I have no idea, but whatever. It was such a it's like a book burning, right? It would be like 1984 or whatever that movie, or Fahrenheit 451. Be like just a public book burning, like just to show that they can do it, like just to shock and awe. Like, look what we're gonna do. Your stuff. Don't screw with us. We're gonna make a big deal out of putting your stuff in the driveway and ruin it. Anyway, so
Just order one of those lowers from Palmetto State Armory with the ATF guy on the side of it. That's it.
what's that, repellent or something?
Yeah.
And Jelena had another BP off-air lobby. I don't know what happened in there. There's no evidence of it.
Yep.
No recordings.
Secret things.
Well, apparently they said he was selling them illegally.
Yeah. So, I mean, do we believe anything that California says? I'm taking it all with a grain of salt. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not here to excuse any bad doings or whatever, but I just find it hard to believe that the house next door to the Playboy Mansion had acquired all of those guns, just selling them out of the garage or whatever. Like, hey, come on into my thing that's got to be 3 normal gun shops worth of guns and pick your, instead of having the 3 options in the trunk of a car. I mean, we already know.
And I mean, they didn't even look, like scary assault weapons. Most of them were, looked like milsurps and stuff. So it was sad.
Yeah, there was just a ton of just regular old guns. So more than likely, it was like somebody whose shop went out of business, and then, they needed to sell the location, so they brought all their stuff. They brought their inventory back to their place, something like that. And then somebody had a fit because they didn't have the right FFL, or I don't know. Who knows? It could be somebody wrote California out instead of the official CA abbreviation. That's literally the kind of stuff they can ding you for, right? Anyway, so then we got Honda. Posted this. He's in that area with stuff that happened with the crazy murders in Colorado, 4 miles from his home. Roll call, got to 400 subscribers. Gave something to, who won? Somebody won while we were in the chat. The Taters?
I do not know that.
It wasn't one of you then.
I wasn't there.
Something about him supposedly manufacturing and selling without a license. They give me details because it's an ongoing investigation. So,
of course they don't. Why would they?
And you got another early watch. Looks like Dano creeped into that early watch on you. So that happened. How was that?
Oh, good. Yeah, good.
Right.
See, that's why I said mine was better, because Dano wasn't there. It was just me and Dead Horse and Ellis.
Yeah.
Then it
That's
wasn't
automatically
better.
a winner.
It wasn't better. If Dano wasn't there, it wasn't better.
Did Dano tell you to say that?
I'm in the pocket of Big Dano.
Dano's not green over here, so he's probably not texting her stuff to say. Probably.
Tony's been in all those early watches too, and that's the treat for me. I really enjoy talking to Tony.
Oh, Tony?
Yeah.
Oh, Illinois Tony?
Tony York.
Oh, love Tony. Tony's the best.
Tony tells it like it is, too.
All right, so then we get to Knives doing his chat. And then we got Patriot posting another quote over here, this time from Samuel Adams, looks like in 1749. Neither the wisest constitution nor the wisest laws will secure the liberty and happiness of a people whose manners are universally corrupt. So
that quote made sense.
Now we got to have good manners. I guess that's true. Let's see. So then we got Diane was posting their location for 2020 already. So there you go. We split this former 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 into two 10 by 10s.
Oh, so they already got all their stuff for 2020.
I guess so. Trying to figure out what this is. I know where this is. This is downstairs. So that's that food, and then this is where that wood cutter is. I don't know. Did you go downstairs at all?
Yeah. The bottom floor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the main hallway. ATF's booth is like over here, maybe. Either here or here. Probably here. So just right from the ATF. Interesting. So I guess they're dividing some of these. Right over here is UTG. They have like two whole islands like this, and they gut them. So they have a whole edges, and then you walk through like a tunnel of UTG.
Yeah, and they have like so much stuff too. If you want a good swag booth to hit up, that's the one.
You just like walk in, and it's just all like you're inside a big UTG home, and then you walk out the other door. So that'll be the big key locations.
Did you see all that Cerakoted stuff they had in there? They had all this orange, and I was so stoked. And I was like, "When can I buy this?" And the guy like didn't speak a lot of English, I guess, and he was like, no." And I was like, "Oh shit."
Nah, I was walking the aisles just to have it on my meter to know how many miles it was or whatever. So I probably would have normally walk around that one just because I don't like going in there because they always look at you and you're kind of trapped in there. But they also have that like squishy carpet all over everywhere, and that's sort of nice after walking a lot. So I did walk through there this time. I only seen stickers. I didn't see no patches anywhere. I probably would have grabbed some patches.
They had these bags that were full of like patches, stickers, koozies, and a bunch of stuff, and they were trying to like hand them out, and no one was taking them.
Oh, I didn't take their bag because I figured it was full of paper or something heavy.
Oh no, dude, it was full of like stuff.
Dang it. Well, that's what I get for going to SHOT Show for 13 years and normally having people hand me paper that's heavy instead of cool stuff.
But did they have the Foghorn Leghorn patch there?
Nope. Wasn't that night vision?
Oh, did someone end up grabbing one of those for Gizzard?
He's got two of them.
Yeah, I thought that was UTG that had the Foghorn Leghorn.
No, that was Night Vision.
Oh, it was? Oh.
Yep. Yeah, I went back.
I was trying to message a bunch of people that they had those there and try and get you one Gizzard.
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
Yeah, I got him a couple of them.
Yeah, and then I got one too from Obnoxious because I didn't see him.
Because when I went back, it was. I mean, obviously, it was at the end of the show because we were all getting ready to leave, and so I went back and told him I was sent there specifically to try and get one of those, and the guy handed me like 4 of them. So.
Like we got
All I wanted was a Fiocchi patch.
a what?
A Fiocchi patch.
Oh. You did not get one?
Yeah, I did. Pink got me one actually.
Oh, we got 31 people watching with 19 thumbs. So it's a 2/3 thumb ratio, 60% thumb ratio.
So 1/3 of them are stealing the chat.
1/3 of them aren't using the internet; they're just watching the internet. Then we've got the interview with Guns and Gadgets. So Guns and Gadgets actually showed up for his interview on time, and we chatted for an hour. I think it was pretty productive. We had chatted before, so yeah, I think that one worked pretty good. We ended up getting a little bit more into some of the house and good chat. Good stuff over there.
I got to meet him at Nara. He was a really nice guy.
He seems like the dude that is, in the videos or whatever. He seems like he's not doing anything fancy. There you go. Night Strike doing Caliber Corner because whatever. Nobody really cares about how the world's supposed to work or the rules or anything. Then you got Obnoxious Stu and Sarge's show, because again, rules. What's all this dead horse? FN gets dropped. Start about 6
Oh
minutes.
yeah. So the Arizona Highway Patrol down there,
Okay.
apparently dropped the FNS9 pistol, and they're going to replace it. And the report that they released on the reason why, they charged $3,000 to make that report available to people, and someone bought it and put it on the internet. Like one person actually bought it. I don't understand why that report would have to cost money when it's taxpayer money in the first place. But either way, they put the report on the internet, and then when you read through the report, the incident in question on why they're replacing the pistol wasn't the pistol's fault. It was a holster malfunction, and due to officer lack of keeping up on his equipment, really. I mean, but it was in no way the pistol's fault on basically the reason why they're replacing these pistols. So they have this whole report on why they're replacing this pistol, and nowhere in the entire report is the pistol at fault for accidentally discharging in this guy's gym bag. And the guy's gym bag that it so happened to discharge in, he just so happens to be a head of the police association who's in charge of picking things like new guns and stuff like that. So it kind of turns out to be a real funny coincidence that, the guy who's like one of the head guys in charge of that gun discharges, and now they get all new guns. So I just thought that was interesting, so I threw that out there. That's that video's about 6 minutes into it is where they kind of talk about that a little bit, but you can find a lot more info about that on the net. And I was going to talk to you later about that, G-Webs, and see if you'd heard anything about that.
No, I haven't. I've been doing all kinds of stuff this week, though. Haven't been paying attention to news of the day kind of stuff. But I noticed that it says shoplifting subject, right?
Well, no, that's he's comparing 3 different incidences of officer training issues, right?
Mhm.
But the second incident happens to be the incident with that they're using to replace that pistol, right?
Right.
So that's how I found out about it, was through that video, and then I dug and did some more research and was able to find that report. But I just thought it was really funny that they're replacing a pistol when the pistol's not at fault for anything.
Well, like you say, if there's like some incentive for that guy and he doesn't think, anybody's going to pay attention, he can just use it as an excuse, create an excuse, use that, make a couple of bucks, change some pistols or getting a kickback or something. Then that's not, like you say, that's the news, really, not the gun having an issue.
Yeah. No.
But I'm just looking at this saying shooting of shoplifting suspect at Chinooks, right? So that means whoever this dude is, when somebody's like, what happened to you? He can say, I got shot in the Chinooks.
So just out of curiosity, for those of us not from there, what is a Chinooks?
It's a grocery store.
Nutsack.
We don't have those in Oklahoma, I don't guess.
I assumed it was a nutsack. So we're here all week. You can buy stuff at the Gear website store. All right. So then we get to Linkshin printing machine. Oh, good. Looks like we got spam.
Oh, what's that about?
21 hours ago. Oh, looks like Zhang, flat screen printing machine, flat screen printer, printing machine, hot air center.com.
Maybe they knew my printer died and I needed a new printing machine, so they just put it on gun channels for me to find.
Hot airs Stenter? What the hell are they thinking? They just picked random English letters and bought the .com, I guess. Yeah, so that's spam. Let's get rid of that. Oh, I got this one here. Did you guys watch this video? Did anybody watch this video?
No, Blue Steel's one of those other people that have his set to work.
Oh, you didn't see it show up. It could also, I'm trying to work on it. There's some stuff I turned off because it was just extra fluff that nobody was using, but it's originally it would have been like in the software that I'm using. I've talked about this before. It would be like where you'd put in like the country you're from. I figured, I didn't make this for other countries, so I took all that out kind of and made it like shotguns and rifles and CCW and hunting and reloading. And if you don't go into your profile and actually choose those things, I think it's set that you're going to see stuff predominantly from the other people that are in the same things as you. I think it's set up that way, or you can have your things set up that way. So anyway, there's some settings that we've got to figure out some way to flip all the switches off or on or something. Anyway, so I guess we'll have to deal with that. But anyway, this video was about some guy, I think he was trying to be funny, and he was comparing the M9 with Romanian bayonets. And it was more of like a I don't know if he was making fun of videos or if he was making fun of the bayonets, but he was doing like a parody video. Then you got another early watch, another Mr. Knives show. It's a lot of free live chat. A lot of live chat. Anybody look at this one? Supreme Court says no to New York's Second Amendment. Waiting scheme.
Is that one with transporting or whatever?
I do not know.
Yeah.
Where they can't leave the city and they can only go to and from a gun range.
Yeah, and then that guy.
Oh, that's the one where they kind of changed their law before it went there.
Yeah, trying to get the Supreme
Yeah.
Court not to hear it, but it didn't work.
Didn't work, and now the Supreme Court is going to look at it.
That's my understanding, yes.
Oh, okay, good. Then you got Knives talking about a federal magazine ban. Is he just crying wolf over there, crying turtle, or is he legit? Is he on the topic on the pulse of this one? Are we going to have a magazine ban?
I haven't read that one.
This is HR, so it's for real. That's HR 1186. Magazines that hold 10 rounds would ban all magazines that hold a capacity of more than 10 rounds. On the surface, it's absurd. But I guess if everybody sits around thinking that's absurd, then they pass it, then we got the same thing as a bump stock, right?
The
20.
Brady bill was absurd,
Mm-hmm.
and that passed, right? And that was basically a 10-round magazine ban, along with other things. But you
The
know,
Hughes Amendment was absurd for that point, and we still haven't got together and said that's absurd. Remove that. So yeah, that would suck. So I guess thanks, Knives. That's sort of the point of this whole thing, is to have conversations like this and keep aware of that. I liked it, but when I looked over at it, I think that was FPC. I got distracted by that. I don't know what they call this tip. What do you call it when it's not just a copper jacket and it's not a hollow point? It's that. Looks like a little nipple. You seen those?
Ballistic tip?
I don't know. That might be. I don't know if they called it something. I have some from Barnell, but anyway, that got me distracted, so I didn't even look down. Oh, and then I looked down here and it was like 3 sentences. So I'm like, how big a deal can this be if there's only 3 sentences? But I probably should pay more attention. All right, then we got Tano, his 9mm agenda, lasers and shit. Like, oh, people like 9mm better if there's lasers. I didn't watch it, but it's something about 9mm. Oh no, I did watch it for a while. 17 minutes of 9mm. Is that the future of 2A?
I don't know. It's that shooting the bull guy that's been off the air for 2 years. He's finally gotten well enough to finish the series.
So basically, playing around with 9mm, just dozens, 40 plus types of 9mm, gives him 9mm cancer. It almost kills him, and then he comes right back to it. He's so addicted to the 9mm. I have no idea. Hopefully, he didn't really have cancer. What was his deal? I hadn't even heard of this guy before.
He didn't really say, and then he's been through 2 or 3 surgeries, and then his wife got sick too.
Oh shit! Well, hopefully, he didn't have actual cancer. Instead, had something like gallbladder, and I can make fun of 9mm cancer again. But seriously, 17 minutes on 9mm. You know what you could just do? Buy a 45 ACP.
Are we just going to ignore that he did 40 tests on 9mm?
Oh yeah. Well, there's probably some symbolic significance. Oh shit! Symbolic significance to that there. Again, people, if they got to use lasers, that's obviously his flim flam job there. Look at shiny lasers.
That's just 9mm bullets going by. That's how fast they go by.
Uh-huh.
The one
Your
good thing
gel
about
or
the
whatever.
video is he does kind of show you the difference between like the clear ballistic gel and then the like the organic gel, right? That's like basically melted pig skin or something, right? And that simulates tissue or something better than the clear ballistic gel. So he does kind of explain that in that video. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that.
All right. Well, I'll give you that's probably interesting, but 17 minutes worth of sitting around listening to 9mm gossip.
Well, at the very end, he does say that just to get a 10mm. So that's a bonus.
Was he really?
No.
I don't remember seeing that.
Look at the tiny, tiny, tiny little trophy that 9mm get. Isn't that nice? Oops, there it is. You probably can't see it. It's right there. All right. So then we got Gary. Had this thing called Foul Territory. It was earlier this evening.
It was all right.
It was pretty good.
And then what you're doing is called Corking Clover. So
I was on first.
yeah. So here's what Cork would have said. Well, I was already here or something. So basically, no, actually, Cork would have been Clover back in those days. So
Yeah.
Cork was this guy who had shows. Like he had his own show, didn't he? I think he did. Or at least every once in a while he would have a show. So it wasn't unheard of for Cork to have a show. But I don't think it was really on the regular. And if it was like this where he just invited a bunch of people and he wasn't really doing a formal show with the topic or a format or anything. So somebody had a show and Cork just said screw it and did the show right then. Sort of like if Travis did Hit or Miss, but then also Night Strike did Hit or Miss because they're weird and they just were going to do that. And then one of them got offended really bad. That's how Corking happened. At least that's how I remember it.
Well, I will say that Gary's show really picked up at about the 50-minute mark. It really got good about then.
Oh, when you joined?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is that when Clover went live?
Clover went live about right in the middle of my show.
But that's what it's all about. Yeah.
And I informed my audience that Clover was going live and gave them permission to go watch if they wanted to.
I mean, I'm just gonna say, if Dead Horse had his evening chat going, I probably would have been over there instead of Gary's. But
And definitely, if the Daily Gun Show had started early, I would have lost all my audience. I might as well shut down at that point.
But that's what it's all about, is so that we can have multiple shows, so that hopefully we get people jumping around and maybe have some show battles. You guys don't even have any of y'all ever even had a live show battle? Any kind of live show war?
I don't think so. I think we're all of us are pretty cognizant of when everybody else is on, and we try and work it out so that we're not stepping on anybody.
Yeah, so there's a whole nother level of chatmanship where you have chat wars with other people who are live, and you can do that in different ways. But anyway,
the problem with that,
a rap battle.
the problem with that is we're all in each other's chats. So how are we going to chat battle when we're in that chat?
well, that's the thing. You got to start having your own like groups, and then gather in more. You need more soldiers.
I believe
Find out who gets who.
Mm-hmm.
What really made me feel bad is my slot was originally Clover's in the first place.
Don't feel bad though, because he totally abandoned it. That's like somebody making a really sweet like fort, in woods or whatever, and then leaving it, like getting a job or something and mowing lawns, leaving their fort. They can't just come back after like they got a bunch of money mowing lawns and be like, hey, I'm gonna hang out. I'm like, oh, there's somebody else in my fort. Like, what the hell? You abandon your fort, man. Same. Your fort now. Now, if you abandon it,
Then Sarge and I are going to take it.
yeah, it's sort of like Edge's fort anyway, really. I mean, Edge is the one that cleared off the area and knocked down the big trees that you guys are all using to set on, but, he hasn't used it in a long time. Sort of like when the back in the day, the South American Indians would walk up to those giant stone monuments that they couldn't imagine how they could have happened in the middle of the jungle. So it was like for Gary. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The remnants of Edge. And he set up his little temple there. Started doing the Friday show. Fort squatting. There you go. Yep. All right, and then we had the Daily Gun Show. Ready now? And now who's posting something over here? Snob's posting on top of us. What's all this about? Some kind of AR pistol and pistol caliber?
He's quirking my next video is what he's doing.
The sad thing is, it's going to be the exact same video, exact same. Because if you look at my video, he's wearing Obnoxious's mic in it.
Oh, you guys did one of those Clover and Ghost where you had the guy say the stuff once and you both had cameras running?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super efficient, really, because it gives him twice the whatever. It only takes one amount of his time.
Yeah,
And-
see that little road that's right on his badge holder?
Okay,
That's my mic.
I can't tell.
If you scroll back where you were a little bit, or if it,
It's about to go up.
yeah.
Why don't you stick a thing on there that has like branding, unless you're trying to brand for them? Like a sticker or something on there.
If I had a smaller Obnoxious One sticker, I probably would do that.
So anyway, there's probably no way for that to happen.
That's
No.
probably not.
There's no way for you to take in the dimensions of that square and then leave a little dot in the middle, or take a hole punch to the center, so you can still have that little light. Is that a light in the center?
I think it's just part of their logo.
Oh, well then hell, just put a square on there.
I was going to say he could just, put his mouth over that and take the hole punch and make it look like he's got his mouth open the whole time.
So anyhow, that's I think a pretty efficient way to do the booth review type videos. And then that way I was going to say you guys can do something, potentially switch film, because you're both coming at it from a different angle, literally. Right? Just throw the whole video at each other, or half and half or something. And then you've got that ability to flip back, from two different angles, whatever that's called.
I mean, I have the ability to switch from two different angles alone because I'm just cool like that. But,
You already took 2 video right away?
I had 2 cameras set up.
That's because
running.
he carries like 80 pounds of camera gear with him,
I do.
and then complains about a rifle being too heavy.
This thing's basically a Sten, and then they put an AR trigger group under it, and they put in an AR pistol mag well going straight down instead of from the side, and then they put a brace on it, or a stock and a big long barrel, because it looks exactly like an aluminum Sten.
Yeah.
I mean, with
Pretty
that
easily
bolt,
interchangeable calibers, too.
and then what, bolt face and mag and barrel. Do they show it all in a package, like in a backpack or something?
They have a backpack that it's made to fit in.
But I mean, your video.
Maybe an Obnoxious. That's probably not mine. I don't remember getting it. I may have got it at the very end.
Yeah, I got the backpack, but I don't think they broke one down.
No, they didn't
Put it
break
in
one
there.
down and put it in there.
Angelina, you're going with that grip angle? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Dead horse with that grip angle?
No.
Gizzard?
Yeah.
Obnoxious?
Probably it looks a little more pistol grippy, and I'm a pistol person, so I'd
So
say
that's-
yes. Yeah.
No.
I'm fine with that.
Nope. The correct answer is no. That's a crazy grip angle. And that's a brace, right? That's a shame. They need to get rid of NFA already. Does it have a recoil spring? It must, huh?
I didn't think it did.
Well, it has to have something going back into the tube, no? Otherwise, they'd make it fold. Because if they're making it all small, does
Oh,
this
true.
break down or something? Or
Did that one fold?
They'd probably
I
I
never-
don't remember if the one folded. I seemed like he had one that folded.
but
I
they-
don't remember if they folded or not.
They could have that Ace thing on there, I guess, if they're using the recoil spray.
Well, he told us he was going to send us one out to try out, but he hasn't responded to my email yet. So,
And then lastly, we got from Cheyenne. Good guy with a gun stops a very bad guy with a gun. I don't usually look at those videos. Y'all look at those kind of videos?
I do because they can be really good training points sometimes.
Did that say Yuba City?
Usually.
Yuba City. Yeah.
Yuba City. My
Southern-
wife spent about 6 months traveling to Yuba City when her company bought another company out there, and she did the integration.
Was it a tuba company?
No,
Yuba
no, but
Tuba.
they do have street chickens out there.
Real.
Gary, what are you doing on the street?
Are you judging Gary's relatives out there?
That's right.
Apparently, somebody at some point dumped a bunch of chickens, and they've gone wild. They're all over the place out there.
Cool.
Kind of like Cripple Creek, Colorado, where they have donkeys walking the streets.
And fun fact, roosters will crow in the middle of the night.
Oh yeah, we got ones around here that'll just make noises whenever.
They only crow in the middle of the night till you wring their neck.
Oh, there you go. So anything else? That was digging into the weekend guns, and that took us through a while of the show. So yeah, see, nothing but dead air.
What's the next like major gun show or something? Like maybe people are talking about getting together at, is it the next Wanamaker, or is there something coming
Our
up before?
gun channels will hopefully be the Gun Rights Policy Conference of September 20th in Phoenix, Arizona, since that's the only thing that actually matters for the Second Amendment, considering we have a 2020 election coming up and a potential to not only show your support by being in the room for those organizations, but if you create content and you've managed to do something to hone your skill sets before then, you can actually come as a an advantage to the group and network and meet and figure out how to be on message and amplify whatever's important out of that. Make that as important as possible, make that as useful as possible. So I know that one's coming. We got Kevin's thing coming up at the end of this month. Is that 2 weekends from now, Snow? It's not this next weekend. It's not this week.
It's 24th, so yeah, it's 2 weekends. I hope I'm able to go to Gun Rights Policy Conference this year, but that's a pretty good distance for me, but I'm going to try to go.
Well, this one was your anniversary, and then that's your wife's birthday, so you'll probably just make arrangements and go to Phoenix.
Yeah. If they'd make it like 2 weeks later, I for sure would, because her birthday's like the first part of October.
Well, that would be her birthday present, is getting rid of Snob.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy birthday. I'm leaving for like a week.
I did see, I got an email from NRA that they're having their personal protection carry expo, formerly known as the Carry Guard Expo in Fort Worth this year. So I may try to go to that because that's just like a 4-hour drive, 4.5-hour drive for me.
I'm sorry, what did you say, USCCA?
No, the Carry Guard's what I meant to say.
Oh.
The stupid Carry Guard, but I guess they've already ditched Carry Guard because I didn't see any of that at NRAM. Did you, Obnoxious?
No, I didn't see anything about Carry Guard.
Well, see, last year that was a huge thing at NRAM. They had a huge booth with a simulator and a huge long line. And this year I didn't see nothing about Carry Guard, so maybe they're doing smart and getting rid of that quietly.
USCCA has an expo coming up. Is anyone going to that?
Isn't it out east?
Probably Wisconsin-y, isn't that where they are?
Oh, is that where it is?
Well, that's I think where they are, but it's in Pennsylvania, I thought, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we got it on the calendar here.
I thought it was somewhere out east. Too far for me, I thought.
USCCA is not this weekend, but also next. Well, no, next. Your thing is until the 24th, so your thing isn't this weekend or next weekend. It's the weekend after that.
Yeah.
The USCCA is in Pittsburgh, which is in Pennsylvania, next weekend. So not tomorrow, but the weekend after that, 17th. And
We
then
made a giant flag for the center of the expo. Like they're gonna have this giant USCCA flag, and I made it.
Oh, really?
It's like 180 inches or something. It's crazy.
Is that even legal in California?
I mean, I smuggled it in and out.
Seems like that amount of red,
That amount of awesome.
that amount of red ink should be illegal, or whatever they use.
I'm super stoked to see it in like a picture or something. So I was hoping someone was going.
We have several Gun Channels members in Pennsylvania.
Maybe we can get some cowboy to go.
Is he in Pennsylvania?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was West Philadelphia born and raised.
I believe so. And
On the playground is where he spent most of his days.
Mhm.
I feel like I've heard this before.
I was hoping you were going to say chilling out Max and relaxing.
I don't remember. I don't remember enough of it to do that.
You're
Sorry.
just too old. See, when you're my age, you know every word to that.
That could be. That could be.
Gary's like, what's that garbage?
Do you think that has something to do with all those guns that were seized in Bel Air?
God.
Uncle Phil died, so they took all his guns.
All right. Well,
No, Pittsburgh is. Oh no, Kingpin wouldn't be able to make it. Well, I don't. No, because Kingpin isn't that far from midnight. So, and Pittsburgh's over on the west side of the state.
Wasn't Slim on the west side?
I don't know. He's somewhere in there.
Because I thought Slim was quite a ways from the Harrisburg rally.
Well, anyway, we'll bring that up with him. Maybe we'll see a picture of that. Otherwise, I'm sure we'll see it on the Instagrams. But yeah, all right. So what else do we have? Or are we winding this thing down? Do we have a member of the day? Is that still a thing?
no. Come on.
All right. What about tactical pop quiz?
Is Dan out here?
No. I guess that means
Legal complications.
Yeah, I guess things are done.
I need to take more pictures because there's a lot more patches over there. Yeah, I need to. It would be nice. I would really like to be able to spend more time on it, but to get some of those features back. But right now, it is a panel discussion, and we'll do what we can. So, do you got anything coming out on the Allen Anchor store?
The Allen Anchor.
Free stickers?
What? Free stickers?
I thought I saw something about free stickers.
Oh yeah, we're doing a patch promotion. So if you grab 100 custom patches, you'll also get 100 free. Keep that in mind, free printed stickers. So that's a pretty big promotion. And we do that a couple times a year. And we also do a free mold promotion. So it kind of makes getting patches a little easier.
That is a smoking deal. And
Smoking deal.
I saw that and I'm like, oh, I really should order some more patches from you.
Yeah, it's a good deal. And we just finished Sarge's patches and he got them. The special thing about those is that red Velcro on the back. So that's pretty fire.
Have I been informed before if you have orange Velcro or not?
No, because it's new. But can you imagine all the patches I'm gonna make with like the most obnoxiously orange Velcro? Pretty much everything I make is gonna have orange Velcro from now on.
So, as far as the patches, when you do a logo for a channel, that requires some amount of people that have interest in promoting the channel or funding the channel or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you do a patch in something that's just clever, funny, or useful, maybe even more than that, you got the potential of funding a project. And I mean, I really think there's potential if you can get to where you can do something on the regular, whatever. I mean, once or twice a year, quarterly, ideally monthly, so that you create income for a channel. But there's potential to make income. Some of you guys that have done patches now, where's Sarge at? I guess he's working.
Probs.
He is probably sleeping because he sent us a text at like 6 o'clock that after 25 and a half hours straight, he was finally off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, anyway, so I'm just thinking that, now that you guys have a bit of experience getting one, Sarge, though, has a little bit more because he did his with a crowdfunding. You guys, some of you guys just did it. You just bought them, right?
Yeah, he crowdfunded his patches. I mean, we went back and forth on the design a little bit. Found one. He polled people for the design, so people picked, because I think we came up with like 3 designs or something. So then people picked which one they liked, and then he crowdfunded it. And now he has a lot of patches to ship, I guess.
Well, shortly after Memorial Day, I'm getting patches.
Well, we're also going to do a gun channels patch batch. As soon as I have to wait, I'm only waiting now for the last ones to show up, the rest of them, I guess. And then once I can ship them, I'll have the last piece of the equation, like how much it really costs, not just the projections, but how much it actually costs to ship. And then we'll have some pretty solid info on getting them, trying to figure out a way to do a run for gun channels and stuff. And Angelina has contacts that can do them in lower quantities than I can. So we might be able to do something. But again, if you think about anything, if you're going to buy 100 of something that costs $1, then you need this, and then you need to sell 50 of them at $2 to pay for all of them, right? Or if you buy them at $3, then you need to, there's always some balance where you need to sell some of them, or if you sell some of them, it balances either completely the cost of buying them, or offsets it, I guess. But ideally, you sell more than, you sell them all, or you sell, all that you want to sell, so that you not only pay for them, but you make a couple of bucks. And that's where I'd like to find the potential. If there's people out there that are clever, or if we have large enough audiences, it's all about baking new cakes, right? If there's people out there that are, too yet be found in the realm of firearms, bring them on board and have something like that for them. That's better than, not having a funding source in place. And it's always neat to have a funding source that's either something you can do on Patreon or something that you can do off Patreon, like on one of the existing crowdfunding platforms.
Yeah, patches are definitely a often untapped revenue stream. So yeah, it's kind of crazy how people will basically pay to support your brand. And I know Patreon, the whole, here's money for this, but I don't know, people like a little token and a little thing to stick on their wall and represent you with, actually. So even me, like, we sell Owl and Anchor patches, and I always thought, like, who would want to buy that? But people do buy them. So yeah, it's just another revenue stream. And we always help, Gun Channels members out. So if anyone wants to get patches or anything, just give me a shout.
When they're selling them on eBay and they're selling them on Amazon and other places, even that Travis's favorite store, Alibaba. And you can, if you've got a clever enough design or something that's useful or clever or something, you could potentially, again, make all kinds of profit on something like that.
If you just put a dolphin on your patch, then they're guaranteed to sell.
Dolphin safe.
With big eyes and a smile.
Yep.
All right, well, with that, with the smiling dolphins, we'll leave you. Thanks to the 2 people that ordered today. That's helping to keep the lights on. We're going to have to do some sales next week to help fund a project that came up, a target of opportunity, you could say. And it's not an inconsequential one, but we're gonna put some I don't know, effort into raising some funds this next week. So stay tuned for that. And I guess tomorrow doesn't have Caliber Corner in the morning. Has somebody been doing something in the mornings on Saturday I'm not aware of? On a regular yet? In place of Travis?
Not that
Not
I'm-
that I know of.
Pretty sure Midnight said he'd step up, wake up early on Saturdays, open a show, but not only just open a live lobby, but instead have like, you know, some actual content, some structure to the show, have some prepared topics and some things for us to talk about, as well as, you know, fresh made victuals and refreshments. So stay tuned to that tomorrow morning with Pancakes, Midnight Range TM. I think Rick's Life as I See It will be on in the afternoons like normal. And then I'm guessing Snob, or I keep mixing up Snob and Snarge tonight. So Snarge will be on tomorrow.
Like
Both Snob Show and the Sarge Show.
Yeah, and I should be in my normal place tomorrow, unlike last week when I was in Sarge's spot because I was busy and didn't get home in time.
So Snarge Saturdays. And then Gary's leftovers are on Sundays. Leftovers out of the fridge from tonight.
Yeah, they'll be just as good on Sunday.
Fun
The
show.
Sunday show is usually better because my wife usually comes on there and shows bacon cooking. So
Snap.
We have
Different
fun on
type of cook bacon a different type of way each week.
well, actually, I think she has cooked it 2 different ways on there. One week it was oven, one week was on the stove.
How many different ways are there to cook an egg? Angelina?
like 130 or something like that, I think.
Dead Horse?
2.
Gizzard?
6.
Obnoxious?
42.
Gun Snob?
1.
No, damn it. I think it's like 26. I just watched a video on it the other day. And it was like 26. I just forgot it though after you guys said what damn.
There's only one way to cook it correctly, though. So,
Oh yeah, the person that made this video is gross. They like eating their eggs raw. And they're disgusting. But they went through 26 ways.
Wow.
It was on a YouTube video. You're welcome.